Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin this video, I wanted to go ahead and tell you all about Alaska Granny. I've been subscribed to Alaska Granny for a really long time. I very rarely comment on any videos, let alone her video as well. I almost never comment on videos. But I was watching one of her latest videos, and it happens that her husband of a very long time has passed away. Now, I was not going to comment on this or talk about this because I don't know how people feel about other channels talking about stuff like that. So I don't really like to talk about that. However, she did put it out on a video, and I received a whole bunch of emails from you all, the Alaska Prepper community, saying, can you please mention it? That way she knows that she's loved. Go over to Alaska Granny's channel, and whether you subscribe or not, take a look at her content and subscribe if you like. Right? She's a very nice person. Right? Very nice person. A lot of experience with prepping as well. I'm sure that she will find it very touching that so many people go over there. Just tell her that, whatever it is that you want to say. I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not good with loss. I'm really not. So just, pay your condolences to Alaska Granny. She's been in the prepper community for such a long time. I think longer than me, to tell you the truth. And like I said, she's a really good person. So just go over there, show her a little bit of your love. I'm sure it'll make her feel a little bit better knowing that she's loved during this really tough time. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I was hoping to release this video for yesterday in the evening, but I wasn't able to get to it. I was doing something that was very important at the time, but I wanted to go through some news with you all, and I wanted to start with this one. I'm sure that by now most of you, if not all of you, know what happened with this power station or substation. Gunfire on 2 North Carolina substations plunges tens of thousands into darkness and cold. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what have I been preaching for I don't know how long? Get a generator. Get one as soon as you can. That should be on your priority list. Yes, we all need food. We all need water. We all need shelter. But we also need heat. There are ways for you to be able to power, like, let's say, for example, a forced air system with a generator by running an extension cord to it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but it's very simple to do. It's probably not up to code, but if you are freezing, maybe you don't care too much about what's up to code or not. I'll let you do your own research. But if you want to find out how to do something like that, go ahead and type in YouTube something like how to power my forced air system or my forced air heater with a generator. You can even do it with a solar generator too. It's easy to do. I've seen it before, very easy to do, but that's up to you. Do your own research. Safety is number one. But would you rather freeze to death, right? After 2 power stations in North Carolina came under gunfire on Saturday, tens of thousands of customers are without power. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to go through this entire article, but I will leave it on a pinned comment for you to revisit. What I want to warn you about is this, is that these types of incidents, in my opinion, are going to increase. Not necessarily to power stations or substations of the power grid or whatever, but in general. There are going to be more attacks on public institutions, on public buildings, police stations, things like this. It's a cycle. It's a cycle of civil unrest. It usually lasts around every 60 years or so. The last time that we went through something like this with civil unrest was back in the 60s. Take a look back and see what was happening in the mid to late 60s. Same thing is going to happen now, and this is going to progressively get worse and worse, so prepare. Right? Prepare. Well, how do I prepare for civil unrest, AP? Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at what the outcome of this type of civil unrest is. This is civil unrest when someone attacks a part of the infrastructure willingly, right, with purpose. This is civil unrest. It doesn't have to be 500 people out on the street with bats and Molotov cocktails. This is an example. Have a generator. Get prepped up. If you're not of the preparedness mindset, you don't have to be. Just prepare basic. You want to put away enough food and water and medicine and things that you need for a while that will get you through 2 weeks, a month, or 3 months. You don't have to put away enough stuff for a year. Just put enough away that you're comfortable with. Because trust me, if everyone in the United States was prepared for at least 2 weeks to a month, we wouldn't be in half of the trouble that we are now, because we would be able to exercise our no muscle. All right, ladies and gentlemen? So just get prepared. And I truly hope that no one passes away from this incident that happened in North Carolina because they had no power. China has open police stations in the US and Canada to monitor Chinese citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen some very disturbing videos about this, where the Chinese police officers that are, I believe here it's in New York City, where they have one of these Chinese police stations. I don't know what in the world people even think about when they're making these decisions to allow a foreign nation's police department to open up a station in our country. And then again, it's very easy to consider why they would do so. Why? Because our politicians, I would say most of them, are owned by China. They are in their pockets. And I'm sure that China has information on most of our politicians that they probably don't want to get out. So they're going to do whatever China tells them to do. Because ask yourselves this. Do you think it makes sense? Do you really think it makes... Do we have police stations in China? Does the United States have police stations in China monitoring American citizens that are in China? Probably not. Does that make sense that a country would allow a police department from a different country to come to their country so that they can police Chinese citizens or citizens from China that came here to the United States because they're talking bad? And like I said, I've seen several videos where these police officers, they're not very friendly. They think that they're still back in China doing the things that they do to the people just walking by. So in my opinion, if you are of Chinese descent and you're speaking your mind because you're in a country that allows you to exercise your First Amendment, your freedom of speech, well, they don't allow us to do it. It's our right to do it. So let me correct that. But if you are, you may want to watch out. You may want to be careful walking in front of one of these Chinese police stations. I won't get into this very much, but this is just very concerning. And I'm very curious as to why. Nonprofit blood donation service starts matching people that never got the vitamin shot with donors. Why is that? What is wrong with the blood of people that got the vitamin shot? Like I said, it's very concerning. This to me is very worrisome, ladies and gentlemen, because what this is doing now is it's creating another class of people. People that I've heard people use the term pure blood. You know, people that never got anything and people that have. It's very concerning. Remember that we are all in this together. And whether you took that stuff or not, it doesn't take away from your humanity one bit. Either way. Now, I did talk about this on one of yesterday's videos. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's going on. U.S. to detain Dominican sugar import amid accusations of forced labor. Let me ask you a question. All of a sudden, the U.S., and this has nothing to do with that I am of Dominican descent. I was born in Dominican Republic, all right? But why all of a sudden does this have to do with forced labor in Dominican Republic? From what I understand from some of the articles that I've read, over in Dominican Republic, one of the biggest sugar companies in the world, they're using children to labor in the sugarcane fields, and they're not paying the people that work for them adequately and all that stuff. And I'm not contesting that at all. I'm not saying that that's not happening. But why all of a sudden? Why all of a sudden is the U.S. so very interested in this and that they're doing it? Were they doing it last year or last month or the year before? More likely they were. So why all of a sudden is the U.S. government so interested in this? When, have you heard what's going on in China with forced labor? Locking people in, people sleeping in the factories that they work for like 4 hours and then going back to work, not being allowed to have bathroom breaks. Companies installing nets on the outside of their buildings so that people are trying to escape the bad working situations by jumping off the building won't hit the ground, if you understand what I'm saying. In South Africa, where they mine lithium, where they use child labor, where they use forced labor, all of these other countries in the world where there is trafficking for labor and other things that are really bad, why isn't the United States government going after those countries, those governments? I'll tell you why right now. Because this has nothing to do with sugar, and it has nothing to do with forced labor. Now, this is my opinion, all right? But I did get this information from someone that knows in Dominican Republic. It has to do with that the United States, they made such a mess of Haiti. You remember that big earthquake that happened in Haiti years ago? I mean, years ago. And all of this money was donated to go over there. Where is that money? The U.S. made such a mess of Haiti that it is pretty much a failed state. And now the Haitians, which I can't really say that I blame them. I can't really say that I blame the Haitians for crossing over into the Dominican Republic side of the border. You know, I can't say that I blame them because they're living like animals. They're just surviving. Now it's causing a problem in Dominican Republic with Haitians that are going in there not through the proper channels. Let me put it that way. So the Dominican Republic is exporting a lot of them. And the Dominican Republic government, they got a visit from a general, General Laura Richardson, I think is her name, if I remember right. They got a visit from the general, but they only publish what they want you to know in the news. What they don't publish is that they're telling the Dominican government, hey, we want you to build camps, you know, like FEMA camps. You know, you can call it other kinds of camps, so that you can house all of the immigrants that are coming from Haiti, legal or not legal, in these little cubicles, in these little housing units. And the Dominican Republic government, through the advice of their, military officials, said, go pound sand. You don't come over here and tell us what to do. This is our country. We will control our border the way that we want to control our border. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong, but that's what this is about. So all of a sudden, after this general leaves Dominican Republic, just a few days later, hey, guess what? We're not importing any more of your sugar, Dominican Republic. That's what this is about, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing happens by happenstance when it comes to the United States government, or pretty much any government at that. So don't let them fool you. Yes, the price of sugar is going to go up a little, but I'm really hoping that you've already prepared. And even if the price of sugar doubles, it's still not something that should stop someone from stocking up on it. Because comparatively to the calories, and I know that sugar is bad calories, but almost everything that you eat, that you purchase, unless you live a pure organic lifestyle, and you don't use sugar at all, almost everything that you eat, there's sugar in it. So when I say that the price of sugar is going to go up, it doesn't just mean that the price of sugar itself is going to go up for your use, but for the use of processing plants that actually make food that use sugar. So those foods are going to go up as well, as far as all of the other stuff that that takes sugar, like candy, chocolate, soda pop, stuff like that. And we'll go ahead and finish it off with this one. It says, rail workers fume after Biden forces unions to accept deal. Now, I was taking a look at this deal that they got. I don't think that the workers got a great deal, right? So again, this is the kind of news video where I don't really read the whole thing, not like the 3 that I put up yesterday where I talked about it in depth. But these people are asking for some sick days so that they can take off when they get sick. They were asking for a raise, and they got a raise, but the raise that they got, ladies and gentlemen, when you think about it, is absolutely nothing. They're still underwater. They were giving a 24% raise over 4 years, I think, either 4 or 5 years. You can read it, it's down below. Starting in 2020. But look at what inflation is. If inflation was 1% or 2% and you're getting a 4 or 5% raise, that's not bad, because you're keeping up with inflation and then some. So you have a little bit of a cushion there. But they're not even they're getting about half of what inflation has been for the last couple of years. And I do believe that inflation is going to continue to go up. We've entered a period of respite, but I believe that once the market crashes, inflation is going to skyrocket. So they're not really asking for too much. What they're asking for is just good working conditions and a raise so that they can continue to keep up with inflation. And I do believe that this administration ran on unions, and unfortunately, people still don't understand that politicians will lie to you every chance they get, or whenever they talk, they'll lie to you. And this is what they're getting now. I'm not saying that they deserve this, but learn from this. I've said this 1,000 times, and it's that the government, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I've said this 1,000 times. The government does not care about you. Do you really think that the government cares about you? Please consider asking yourself that honest question and answer it to yourself honestly. And then once you come up with an answer, do you really think that you shouldn't be getting prepared? What do you think is going to happen when our financial system implodes and the economy implodes, which is on its way to imploding right now, along with the financial system? What do you think is going to happen when all of that stuff goes south? Do you think that someone's going to knock on your door and say, hey, how can I help you? I'm from the government. What do you need? They're not going to do that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to find someone to blame it on. Number one, they're going to ask you to do something that is contrary to freedom. Number two, like for example, hey, if you accept this CBDC where I can track every single thing that you've purchased and I can have control over what you can purchase, when you can purchase it, and where you can purchase it, then we'll go ahead and ease the pain. I hope that you're all preparing, and I hope that you're taking these warnings serious, because it truly is serious. And let me end it off with this. I do understand that we are in the Christmas season, and I love this part of the year. But I have to keep bringing this to you because it's reality. It's what's actually happening in our country and in our world. And if you don't prepare for the eventuality of what is going to come along, then you're going to be down and out. So I'll leave it at this. If you believe that the government's going to take care of you, then don't prepare. Right? And if you believe that the government doesn't have the capacity nor the will to take care of you during hard times, then prepare. Because that's what I believe. There's no possible way that our government can take care of us when the S hits the fan in real time. Having said that, thank you very much for joining in. I hope you're having a good week so far. And remember, we will see you this Friday. This Friday, we will continue to have our regular live stream hours, 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I am very happy to report that all of the winners were able to contact me, with the exception of one so far, that I have not gotten their information. But all of the winners, especially the winners that got something from the vendors, from our sponsors, they've all contacted me. I forwarded all of that out. So you should be getting your winnings, your prizes, your gifts, hopefully by the end of this week, if not early into next week. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I am out.